1 minute.
1 minute. In life, I was a W before I was a Robles Wong, and the only time they ever took me out of order was for polio shots. Now's my time. Okay. So, I think that the kind of person that you want to elect to the board is somebody who has the scars of an awful lot of battles, but someone who actually is able to get the results. And in this town, you need to be able to get the results by working collaboratively with everybody. That's what you have to do. That's what I've been doing. I've been doing it in our community, in Harbor Bay Isle. I've been doing it for the school district through Measure A. The lawsuit, that's another one. That's a big group of organizations. And I will not take credit for doing all of those literally. I was a part of a team, and that's what you have to have. You have to have the leadership style and the moxie to go and make the hard decisions, be able to get the other four on the board to go along with you and make things happen. I can do that. Many of you have seen me do it. So I hope that you'll vote for me, because I think our schools, but our children, their education more than anything else is the most important thing. We're at a point where we can backslide. So it's really important to vote well. Thank you.
No, sorry. We're going in reverse order. So, Barbara's next.
Well, first I want to say that I don't doubt the sincerity of the current board and their interest in children. I think that anybody who's willing to sit through evenings like this night after night clearly has to be motivated by something pretty strong. I do know that when I thought about running for the board, I Googled board members, and one of the things it talked about was that board members own the board, that the superintendent works for the board, not the other way around, and board members are encouraged to take charge of the board and not be run by the superintendent. I think, unfortunately, we're seeing that happening in our district now by a board that has more strength than they're utilizing. And if I'm elected, I would hope that this changes, but I'm not counting on it.
Thank you. Mr. Mooney.
Thank you all very much. In 2008, when I ran, I promised passionate, dedicated, and experienced leadership. I think I've delivered on that. My major theme was to create a master plan. We delivered on that, and we're implementing it. Student performance is up, the second highest in Alameda County for the past number of years. And we must continue to hold high expectations for ourselves, for our students, and our staff. We must continue to provide professional development in strategic areas for our teachers and staff. You know, part of being on the board is making tough decisions. And very early on in our term, we came up with something called Lesson 9, the anti-bullying curriculum. And I, along with 2 other board members, voted for it. And luckily, we then had a 4th board member that said he would support it and make sure it got implemented well. And I believe it's gotten implemented well, and we're working on things like that. But we're making sure that we don't have furlough days in Alameda where other school districts are having them. I hope, and our budgets are balanced going 3 years out. We do need you to vote yes on Proposition 30 and 38. I hope you all will. We're going to provide rigor, accountability, and implement the master plan, and doing that all through an equity lens, making sure that our most needy students are focused on. I ask for your vote. Thank you.
Trish Spencer.
I want to thank all of you for coming this evening. When I ran 4 years ago, I ran because I really felt like we were not doing enough for all of our children across that academic spectrum. I'm running again because we are still not doing that. Recent new information that we shared at a board meeting, the percentage of seniors that are satisfying the UC requirements to go on to Cal State or UC out of our schools, 9% of our African American students, 21% of our Hispanic Latino, 42% of our white students, and 56% of our Asian. We are leaving students behind across that spectrum. We can do more, we must do more. I've advocated for anti-bullying for all of our students. I will continue to do that. I voted against the superintendent's raise. I voted against moving the district offices. Kids must come first in all of our decisions, and I honor that and I respect that. I work collaboratively, which is why I have the endorsement of the teachers union and classified staff. I do want input from everyone, including all of our stakeholders, our parents, our community members, and I would be honored by your continued support. Thank you.
Kurt Peterson.
Well, I've heard several times mentioned by two incumbents out here how important the master plan is. And the master plan, just in case you haven't read it, is basically a strive for a golden ring, okay? And there's never a problem as far as having expectations and goals for the highest level. But actions speak louder than words, folks, okay? The board has a responsibility to carefully analyze and question these proposals that the superintendent and her staff are presenting. It's not happening now. There's only one person that's running here for re-election that does that. That's ever, in the last year and a half when I've attended meetings, ever voted no, okay? The board deserves, should be answering to the public. It's not happening now. I know if I'm elected, I listen to you, I'll do what's right for the kids and for the public. Thank you.
John Murphy.
Thank you. I definitely concur with what Kurt Peterson just said. The board has failed on some issues. They've done some great things. However, these decisions recently about how we're spending our money is just wrong. And it's getting a lot of people pretty mad. And I think there is a strike down the road, it sounds like. But I come from a nonpartisan point of view in a lot of ways. I just want to see sound budgetary decision making, and I'm coming out of my comfort zone to step up to the plate and exercise some of my background in educational leadership. And I will serve the community as it should be served, and I encourage you all to vote for the slate of Trish, Barbara, and John Murphy. And yes on 30, no on 32. Yeah. Thank you.
I think as my wrap up, I'm just going to tell you why I started to run here. When Measure E was going on, I supported that, and unfortunately, one person on this board voted no, and that measure lost by 100. And I sort of got disenchanted, and I said, I'm just going to sit out here on Measure A thing. And I was also mad at the board in general on Measure E, because I thought it should have passed. I thought there was things they could have done to get that thing passed. Measure A passed, and I'm for it. I didn't go back to being a dad. Unfortunately, all that community trust that we built up after we passed Measure A disappeared, and two things happened. One is we took a $2 million surplus, or $3 million, somewhere in there, and we didn't get back to the teachers, had given up 5 furlough days, had taken increased class sizes. And then we gave a bonus, full medical, and a renegotiated contract to our superintendent. This board knows better. This board's first goal should be the children at all time. That's why I'm running, because that's what I want to bring, is to bring some goal setting, get our priorities back straight, make sure things are going for the children. It is the big issue I think somebody brought up. And I have talked to teachers, and I'll just leave it with this. One teacher I talked to, who is not part of really activists in the union, told me, I told my husband to plan for a 1-month strike. It is a serious issue. We've got to address it.
Thank you. Neil?
I bring 43 years of experience, knowledge, and training in the schools. I was the only candidate endorsed by the Alameda Democratic Club. I am a consensus builder, and I build partnership. We, the district, had made many accomplishments, but one of the major ones is our district partnership with the Alameda Youth Collaborative. I want to acknowledge Tracy Jensen over there. When she was on the school board, she spearheaded it. As a result, we received the Alameda, the America Promise Alliance Award for the 3rd year for the best 100 cities for youth. This is because of you. And it's due to the partnership that were created. Thank you, Tracy.